Good morning. Today we are going to talk about a program that's available to your student on ClassLink. I've signed into a student account so I can walk you through the whole process. In ClassLink, under the Media Services tab, there is an app called Sora. Sora is a great resource to be able to use when you're at home with your child and you want them to be reading books. When you first go in, first thing you do is sign in using Columbia County School District. Should go straight in, no problems. We're going to say, okay, it's a new achievement. The first thing that I've taught the third, fourth, and fifth graders to do, and second graders, was to go in and set their preferences. So right here where it says set preferences, change the language to English and the audience to juvenile. And I had to explain what juvenile means because they're not used to hearing themselves referred to as juvenile. When those two preferences are set, then you have books available. Now, there's not a ton of books. There's about 100 fiction and a little less than 100 nonfiction books. However, when you start perusing them and looking into them, depending on what you want, picture books, some of them are read-along books, where you can go in and you have to borrow it. It's an online library. That's what Sora is. But when you borrow it, you can start to read it. And there should be a menu that pops up down here. And I think my screen recorder is blocking it right now, but there's a way that you turn it on so that it will read to you. Sorry, we can't see that right now. It keeps popping up with those. Now, I've borrowed that book. I've read the whole book. Now I'm going to want to go down to the bottom and click on my shelf because I need to return the book. I can mark it as done if I really did read it, which I have read that book. But I also want to return it. The books are 2 weeks. You're allowed to have them for 2 weeks. After those 2 weeks, it will return itself. But in the meantime, nobody can use it if you have it checked out. There are some copies of books, some digital copies that there might be 10 digital copies, so it might be available. But once you finish a book, please return it so that it will go right back in. But as you can see, there are many, many books available, different levels. I would suggest, and what I've told the kids is when they find something that they think they might like, they can read a sample, check their reading level. And if they're just looking through and they say, oh, I kind of like that, but I'm not sure that's what I want, add it to the list, add it to their wish list, because in your shelf, you can look at your wish list and it'll have your list of books that you think you might like. And you can always go back and look for something else, but your wish list will help. Now, these are not only digital books that you can read right on the screen, but if you have a tablet or a phone, you can download the Sora app and you can actually download the PDF version of it, as well as if you want to listen to an audiobook. Kitty dog is a cute one. Same thing, you can listen to a sample, you can borrow it, you can listen to it right on your device when you have a Wi-Fi connection, or you can download the file and listen to it without the Wi-Fi connection, which is nice. It does the same things. There are bookmarks, it'll hold your place. You'll be able to do everything. Now, I've also shared with the kids that they can also always go back after they've read something in Sora and they can take an AR test on that book because they've read it. Whether they've watched it, whether they've heard it, they've read the book. So they can go into AR and take the test. One other thing I wanted to show you. Let's get back to the screen. Up here where the 3 little lines are in the upper right-hand corner, you can add a library. And we're very fortunate where we are that greater uh, Clark's Hill. I had to think of where we were. But we can add our own Greater Clark's Hill library to this. Now, when we do that, preferences still stay there, but if you come down and look, they have a different set of books that they have available to them. But look at this, over 1,500 juvenile fiction, almost 800 juvenile literature. So they have more titles available to them through our public library, which is good. But you can toggle back and forth in between the two. You can search for a book through either one, and you can find more things for your student to listen to read, to search and enjoy. Find books that you know that they will love reading or listening to. All right. Well, I hope this helps. Just remember, after they read a book, they can always go into AR, the elementary folder, into Renaissance Place, into Accelerated Reader, search for the title that they just read, and take an AR quiz so that they know they've understood it. Their teacher can recognize that they've understood it. It's a good thing. And speaking of AR is available from 7:30 in the morning till 6 p.m. at night. So if your child is telling you they're having a hard time getting AR tests during the day, there's a little bit of time in the morning, a little bit of time in the evening for them to be able to do that as well at home. Just remember, they need to be the ones answering the questions without your help, so we make sure that they're understanding what they're reading. Thank you so much for your time. I hope this gives you another avenue for you to find reading material for your child. And if you have any questions, please see Mrs. Friedman in the library. Thank you so much.